Hey everybody, this is TotalGamerJunkie. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. So originally I was actually going to make this video yesterday, but well, actually the day before, because you see, before I made the video about Life is Strange being delayed, I was going to make a video about this, but I noticed the front of the cover, and so I had a look on Comixology and discovered that this isn't actually what you're about to see isn't from issue 13, but rather issue 15, and that's when I discovered the release dates have been changed. So that's why I made that video letting you all know instead of covering this sneak peek of Life is Strange issue 15. But we're going to go through that now, and I still have 2 more videos to upload because like I said before, I got a list I want to get rid of. I'm going to upload 3 a day. Just get all those out of the way. I've made a bunch of Life is Strange theory videos, reaction videos. I've finished my What If series. Plus, I've read all the Avatar books, The Last Airbender, ones with Aang. I want to get those out of the way as well. And I gotta redo Avatar, the Legend of Korra, the book 2 Turf Wars, because I didn't record that for the non-commentary part. I ended up recording the same book 1 twice, so I have to fix that ahead. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Avatar, we're here to talk about Life is Strange. So let's get started. So the first shot we have is of Max, Chloe, and Rachel, and they're looking out from on top of what appears to be a cliff or a mountain or something like that, and they're just looking out the sky, and you see Chloe and Rachel are going to do some poses, and Max has got a camera ready, and she's either going to take a picture of Rachel and Chloe or take a picture of the scenery, the sunset. Well, not the sunset, but you know, the sun out there in the sky. I'm already stopping this up. One of the things that interests me when I saw this is the background reminds me of where Sean and Daniel are in Life is Strange 2 episode 5, you know, that mountainy area. It's not exactly the same, but it does look a little similar to me, at least in my opinion. Now the second part here, and this is actually what's going to be happening with the other images I'm going to show you, is that there is no dialogue in any of them. There's no bubbles and that, obviously to avoid spoilers. So I thought that would be I thought that was pretty interesting. Because with the other sneak peeks I have shown, there has always been a speech bubble, but why isn't there a speech bubble here? Because this is issue 15, and it's 1 issue away from volume 4, because the volumes have 4 issues in them, you know, like Dust, Waves, Strings, all had 4 issues. And since 15 is issue 3, because 13, 14, 15, 16, it's the second last issue in the 4th volume. Well, even though the volume hasn't been made yet, but you know it's going to be made. So anyways, we see Max, Chloe, and Rachel talking about something. Now, whatever it is, I do not know, but judging by the way Chloe's holding out her left hand, I think she might be saying to Max, take in the view, take a picture or something. I'm not too sure what, but I can speculate that from what's happening is that they're talking something to do with the road trip. And I want to read the description real quick of issue 13. Just let me pull it up. Okay, right here it says, Max, Chloe, and Rachel hit high noon in Tombstone. As the road trip continues with 2 simultaneous tours, it's time for a showdown between cowboys and pirates. So what I get from this is, what I think is going to be happening is we're going to be seeing 2 different timelines. So the first one, we're going to be seeing Chloe, Rachel, and Max. We're going to see their crossroad adventure with the high seas. And then we're going to have Chloe and Tristan from the original timeline. They're going to be traveling to the same place, and so we're going to be switching back and forth between them. At least that's what I interpreted. And as for the cowboys and pirates, I think pirates may be have something to do with another band, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm not too sure. Now, when I say this, what I believe is happening is that Max is looking at the map, and from the look on her face, you can in the middle section, you can see that she has this kind of sad look on her face, and I think it's because Max knows that she's approaching her destination, and because she's been in this timeline for 2 years. And obviously she's gotten to know the Rachel of this timeline and the Chloe of this timeline. They've become such good friends. I feel that Max is upset that she's going to have to leave them and go back to her timeline. Because even though like Rachel and Max, even though Rachel and Chloe are kind of the same. Well, I assume that Chloe is the same from the Dust timeline, but Rachel is different, because as I've said, I prefer this Rachel to the one in the actual game, because she's better in my opinion. I can see that Max will be like, okay, even though they're not from my timeline, they're still basically the same, and they're still my friends, and I'm going to be upset when I leave, because it's understandable, like, when you grow attached to people, like, it's like if you were to move into a new house and you're like, okay, we're going to be here, and then after a while it's like, yeah, we're going to move somewhere else for a while. So then you make a bunch of friends and it's like, oh no, great news, we're moving back to our original place. But it's like, okay, yeah, you get to be with your friends, but what about the new ones you made? Like, I'm sorry if I'm over complicating this. Now, I'm not sure what Max and Chloe are talking about, but I'm going to take an educated guess and say it has something to do with the road trip and how they are approaching their destination. And I'm 100% sure that what's in the cups is coffee, but other than that, I'm not quite sure. Now, for me, this scene right here, this is the last part of the sneak peek, but I gotta say it's also the most interesting, because it doesn't take place, I believe that this takes place either ahead or behind of the 3 sneak peeks that I've just shown you, because for one thing, it's in a room basically. Now, when I first saw this, I was thinking, okay, maybe it's Chloe inside of Gladys, you know, the minivan, but then I was like, no, that's not possible, because there's too much space, you know what I mean? So I can look at the roofs and there's a bed in there, so no. Okay, I think that's weird, unless it's like with Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, where Willy Wonka has all those places and he's got like an elevator that goes upwards and sideways, and maybe this minivan has other levels to it or something like that, but that's just stupid. So we see that Chloe is packing her bag and she's looking at a photo, and I assume it is the photo that Max took of herself. And this was when was this? This was when Chloe had just brought the minivan. I haven't read the comics in a while, so I gotta refresh my memory a bit if I'm gonna make better theory videos. So, because I remember, I think it was when Chloe showed Max that she had bought Gladys, and the two of them took a photo together, and Max was like, you keep the photo. And that's what Chloe did, so I think that's the photo that she's looking at. And now, since there's a knock at the door, we see Chloe goes to answer it. So, who could be knocking at the door? Now, it could obviously just be Rachel or Max. It may not be like some big reveal or anything, but let's just say, hypothetically, it is. And if it's true, then it won't be hypothetically, it will actually be. But we'll have to wait till December to find out. So, until then, let's take a guess. Now, one of the things I mentioned before is, if you remember at the end of Waves, Rachel used her phone, and she recorded those drug dealers, and they were running away, and she had all those followers, and then the police went after them. I'm pretty sure they got arrested, but they might have gotten away, I forget. I don't think it was ever mentioned, but anyways, it'd be interesting to see one of those drug dealers pop up again, more specifically the boss, as when Max is captured, those two people are talking and they mention that they have a boss. So it'd be interesting to see that person pop up, and maybe she's going to be using Chloe as a ransom or something, and she's like goes and she threatens her life with by saying to Max and Rachel that they owe her a certain amount of money because she had this drug deal going on, or he had this drug deal going on, whoever the boss was. It might have been a she, but I'm not too sure. But anyways, it could be like a whole reverse situation where instead of Max being held captive, it's Chloe, and so Max, Tristan, and Rachel have to save Chloe this time, rather than Chloe, Rachel, and Tristan saving Max. So I think that'd be pretty interesting to see. You know, I don't know if any of you would think that would be cool to see, or if that's just a stupid idea. Let me know in the comments below. My next idea actually is, oh god, what is his name? Zach. That was it, Zach. It was in issue 11, I believe it was, issue 11. It's when Rachel's at that group, because she's, you know, doing that play, and how she's going cross country and that. And there was that guy, and he's asking Rachel if Chloe's available, and then it's like, she's my girlfriend. I don't know, to me he seems like the type of guy that's just going to be like, oh, okay, you know what, I'll just see for myself if she's available on that. Like, I don't know, I get this douchey dick vibe from him. You know how you got those people, like, there's that type of who won't take no for an answer or something, and be like, oh, well, I'll just see for myself, I'm not going to take your word for it. So I don't know, maybe he shows up and tries to put the moves on Chloe or something like that. God, I just hate seeing that. But, you know, if she knees him in the nuts, then yeah, that would be like totally worth seeing. But I do have other ideas. It could be maybe like, well, obviously those other ideas wouldn't work, but I can imagine these two working at the moment. Or maybe like in like this a big what the fuck moment, maybe Chloe could meet her alternate self who's at the other end of the door, but I don't see Tristan and Chloe coming to this timeline. I can only see Max going back to her original timeline, you know what I mean? But that would be pretty interesting to see Tristan and Chloe come into this new timeline with Max, and then there's two Chloes. That'd be pretty cool. So anyways, that's all I wanted to discuss in this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off. And before I do, I just want to give a shout out to DrDaniel, who recommended this. I should have said that. Well, who he didn't recommend it, he sent me the link that showed me these sneak peek images. So thank you, DrDaniel, and sorry I didn't mention you earlier in the video. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.